Divisibility. So when we say a number is divisible by another number, that means when we divide the two, the quotient is a whole number. So that means we do not have any remainders or any decimals. So just for example, if we say that the number 6, it's divisible by 2 because 6 divided by 2 is 3. We say that 6 is also divisible by 3 because 6 divided by 3 is 2. So there are some tricks that we can figure out if numbers are divisible by common numbers. So if we say that a number is divisible by 2, that means that the number is even. Okay, so if you have an even number, your number is divisible by 2. So for example, if I have a number that ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, I know that it's an even number, so therefore it is divisible by 2. Divisible by 2. Now, there's another really easy one that we have. It's if the number ends in 0. If a number ends in 0, we know it is divisible by 10. Okay, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All of those numbers are divisible by 10 because they end in 0. Another easy one to remember is if a number ends in 0 or 5. If it ends in 0 or 5, it is divisible by 5. So we could skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, all of that. So if it ends in a 5 or a 0, we know it is divisible by 5. Now just think about this for 1 minute. Say we have the number 20. We know that it ends in a 0, so it's divisible by 10. It ends in a 0, so it's divisible by 5. And it ends in a 0, we know it's even, so it's divisible by 2. So far, we have a number that's divisible by 2, 5, and 10, and probably others too. So here are a couple weirder ones. So say the sum of your digits equals 3, or is divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. So let me give you an example. Say I have the number 27. I want to figure out, well, is that divisible by 3? If I add the two digits together, 2 plus 7, that equals 9. And 9 is divisible by 3. Therefore, my original number 27 is divisible by 3. You probably are saying, well, I knew that 27 is divisible by 3 because 3 times 9 is 27. But what happens if you have a number, say, 126? Is that divisible by 3? Well, let's check out our little trick here. 1 plus 2 plus 6. What does that equal? That equals 9. We know that 9 is divisible by 3, so therefore 126 is divisible by 3. Let's check that out. If I did long division, 3 doesn't go into 1, but 3 goes into 12 4 times, and I multiply and subtract. I bring down my 6. 3 goes into 6 2 times. And therefore I get a whole number and it's divisible by 3. Similarly, if the sum of my digits is divisible by 9, my original number is also divisible by 9. Okay, let's take our 27 here. If I add my digits together, 2 plus 7 equals 9. 9 is divisible by 9, so 27 is divisible by 9. And we knew that because 9 times 3 is 27. Now look at this, 126. my 1 plus 2 plus 6 equals 9. So therefore, 126 is divisible by 9. If we try that, 126 divided by 9, just to be sure, 9 goes into 12 once. When I subtract, I get a 3. Bring down my 6. 9 goes into 36 4 times. 4 times 9 is 36. When I subtract, I get 0, a whole number. Look, it works. Trust me, it works. Now, there are two other ones that we're going to discuss. They're a little weird, okay? If to check to see if a number is divisible by 6, okay, that means if your number is divisible by both 2 and 3, then it is divisible by 6. Kind of different. So let's take, for example, the number 60. How about the number 18? Change my mind right there. Number 18. So is this number divisible by 6? First of all, we need to check, is it divisible by 2? Well, it's even. So yes, it is divisible by 2. Is it divisible by 3? So to check that, we need to add the digits. 1 plus 8, that equals 9. 9 is divisible by 3, so therefore 18. And we know that. 3 times 6 is 18. So 18 is divisible by 6. Let's look at one that maybe is not so easy, okay? So how about we have the number 96. 96. So is that divisible by 6? I don't know. Let's check. So is it divisible by 2? Yes, because it's even. Is it divisible by 3? 9 plus 6 is 15. Is 15 divisible by 3? Yeah, we know that. 3 times 5 is 15. So therefore, 96 is divisible by 6. Let's check that out. I'm going to do that up here. 96 divided by 6. 1 times 6, 6. Subtract, we get 3. Bring down that 6. 6 goes into 36 6 times. Running out of word space here. So we know that 96 is divisible by 6 and 2 and 3. Okay, a lot of divisibility there. And now one of the strangest ones, the number 4. So if in a number, the last 2 digits, when put together, if they are divisible by 4, then the entire number is divisible by 4. Okay, so that's kind of weird. We're going to have to review our multiples of 4. So we have numbers divisible by 4. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40. Okay, so we have like a whole bunch of those. So our little rule says, if we have a number, when you just look at the last 2 digits, if that number is divisible by 4, the whole number is divisible by 4. So that means if we had a number such as a weird one, maybe not weird, but kind of a large one, what if we had it so that it was 1,216? Okay, 1,216. We ask ourselves, is it divisible by 4? Well, if we look at the last 2 digits, 16, 16 is divisible by 4. It's one of our multiples of 4. So let's check it out to see if it works, okay? 4 does not go into 1, but 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract, we get 0. Bring down the 1. Does 4 go into 1? 0 times. Do our subtraction. Bring down the 6. Does 4 go into 16? Yes. And we end up with 0, nothing left, a whole number. So therefore, 1,216 is divisible by 4. What else is this number, 1,216? Is it divisible by 2? Let's check. It is an even number, so yes, it is. Is it divisible by 10? Well, it doesn't end in a 0, so it's not divisible by 10. Is it divisible by 5? Well, it doesn't end in a 0 or a 5, so it's not divisible by 5. Is it divisible by 3 or 9? Well, we have to add the digits up in order to make that happen. 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus 6 is 10. So 10 is not divisible, or it is not divisible by 3 or 9. So therefore, this number is not divisible by 3 or 9. And in order to be divisible by 6, it has to be divisible by both 2 and 3. And we know it's not divisible by 3, so therefore not divisible by 6. So if a number is divisible by something other than 1 and itself, it's called a composite number. So a number such as 27 is composite because it has factors other than 1 in itself. If a number was only divisible by 1 and itself, if those were the only factors, it's called prime. Those numbers are such as the number 5. 5, it only has factors of 1 times 5. There's nothing else you can multiply together, whole numbers, that can bring you 5. Same with 7, only 1 times 7. 11, only 1 times 11, numbers such as that. So there are a few tricks of learning divisibility.